back to the session Diversity in Living Organism. In previous class we discussed about the classification of plants. Today we are going to discuss about the classification of animals. All animals are grouped in one separate kingdom called Animalia. Animalia include all the animals, and these Animalia all the animals are multicellular, eukaryotic and heterotrophic in nature. Based on their differentiation and based on their differentiation, Animalia is further divided into major groups. These are the various major groups. The major group include Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata. These are the major groups in Animalia based on their differentiation of their body structure, based on the organs present in them. The Animalia is divided into major groups. First we'll discuss about Porifera. Pori means pores. The organisms which contain pores all over the body, and these pores are connected to canal system. The water continuously bar this canal system, and the nutrients are supplied through these pores and through this canal system to the various parts of the body. And almost these poriferans are marine organism, live in water, and sedentary means they are attached to the rocks or anything. They cannot move, they are non-motile, and they don't have any proper differentiation, and their body have hard outer skeleton. They don't have skeleton inside, they all have exoskeleton. Skeleton which is present outside, we call it as exoskeleton. All the sponges come under Porifera. Sponges and cycon are the examples of Porifera. Pori means pores. And now coming to the next major group is Coelenterata. Coelenterata, the organisms of Coelenterata, examples hydra, corals, jellyfish, these all come under Coelenterata. And here I already said they don't have differentiation of their body parts, they don't have definite body parts. But when you go to the Coelenterata, they have a body cavity. The space inside the body, we call it as body cavity or coelom. Body cavity is also called as coelom. Coelenterate have coelom. Coelom, that's why they called as Coelenterata. Coelom means body cavity. And these body are cylindrical in shape, and a very important thing is they have two layers of the cells, outer layer, inner layer. Two layer, their body is covered with two layers of cells. Two layers of cells, we call them as diploblastic. The organism which have two layers of the cell we call diploblastic, and they have arm-like structures called tentacles. With the help of the tentacles, they move from one place to another place. The best example, they almost all of the corals live in colonies, and they move with the help of this tentacle, and they capture the food with the help of the tentacles. They have body cavity, and the body cavity is called coelom, and true two-layered cells we call it as diploblastic. And no differentiation is seen in Porifera. The next major group is Platyhelminthes. Platy means flat. All the organisms belong to this major group. They are flat in shape, that is dorso-ventrally compressed. Back side and front side, their body is compressed. The organism belong to this Platyhelminthes group are parasitic. That means they cause diseases in animals. They cause diseases in animals. Almost all of them are parasitic, and they have flat body. And the very important thing is they have three layered cells are present. Their body cavity is covered with three layers of cells, and that we call it as triploblastic. Two layer means diploblastic, three layers means triploblastic. And when we see the symmetry, it is bilateral symmetry. Already you learned about the bilateral symmetry in mathematics. Once again I will tell you, if their body part is divided into two similar equal halves, we call it as bilateral symmetry. Examples of this major group are tapeworms and planaria, liver fluke. All these are parasitic, and they cause diseases in all the animals. Now the next major group is called nematoda. Even nematoda are parasitic. That means they cause diseases. They are round in shape, cylindrical or round in shape, and they have hook-like or sucker-like structures at the end of their body part. Even Platyhelminthes also have hook or sucker-like structure. With the help of this hook or sucker-like structure, they get attached to the body parts. They live mostly in the intestine. They live in our intestine, and roundworm also live in intestine and feed on our digested food and cause a disease called ringworm infections like Ascaris. And these are triploblastic. That means they are made up of 3 layers of the cell. They are cylindrical in shape, and they cause so many deadly diseases like elephantiasis. Elephantiasis means the hands and legs will be swollen like that of elephant, and you learn about this elephantiasis in higher classes. And these are all parasitic, and they don't have body cavity. They don't have true body cavity. They have pseudocoelom. They have body cavity, but it is not formed by these cells. It is called as pseudocoelom. Very, very important. Pseudocoelom is seen in nematoda. Now coming very important point of bit, pseudocoelom is seen in nematoda. Pseudocoelom means it is not a true coelom. Now coming to the annelida, all earthworms, leeches, and these annelids have ring-like appearance. Annulus means rings. Their body is divided into number of segments, and they have true coelom, and they are triploblastic. That means their body cavity is made up of 3 layers of cells, and they have organ differentiation. They have reproductive system, they have head, mouth, nervous system, and differentiation of organs are seen in annelida, and they have true coelom. They have true coelom. The next major group is Arthropoda, the largest group, which consists of large number of organisms. All the insects, scorpions, prawns, they are included in Arthropoda. Arthro means joint, poda means legs. When these animals have jointed legs, you have seen the insects, they have jointed legs and bilaterally symmetry. That means they can be divided into 2 equal halves, and they have skeleton outside, that is called exoskeleton. And they have open type of circulatory system. Let me tell about what is meant by open type of circulatory system. Circulatory systems are 2 types: closed type of circulatory system, open type of circulatory system. In closed type of circulatory system, blood will flow in different blood vessels, but here they don't have blood vessels. The blood is white in color and flows in the body cavity. Such type of circulatory system, we call it as open type of circulatory system, and body cavity is filled with blood. All the insects, prawns come under this major group. Now another group is called mollusca. Mollusca means very soft body. Molluscans have very soft body, and their soft body is enclosed with a hard shell. They have all shelled bodies, and they also have bilaterally symmetry. Open type of circulatory system. Blood will not flow in the blood vessels. Blood flows in the body cavity. Such type of circulatory system is called open type of circulatory system. The best example is snails or molluscans. Now coming to the colored blood, some of the molluscans like snail, they have blue colored blood due to the presence of a blue colored pigment, and the snails will move with a foot-like organ called as tube foot, and they move with a foot-like organ, and they are also bilaterally symmetry. And the large major group is Echinodermata. Last major group is Echinos means spines. Their body is covered with derma means skin. The skin is covered with spine, and they have spiny skin. And the best example is starfish and sea urchins. They are triploblastic, radial canal system. All these they are all connected with a very specialized system called radial canal system, because they are all marine, and the water and circulatory system is connected to radial canal system. And their skeleton is made up of calcareous exoskeleton, made up of calcium, which are minerals present in the marine water. The another major group is Protochordata, and these are all lower animals, and coming here the evolution starts, and protochordates we are all chordates, and we are well developed animals, and there is a link between these animals and chordata. We call it as Protochordata, and these protochordates are triploblastic. They have body cavity, true coelom, and very special thing they present compared to this group of animals. We have notochord. See, I'll tell you what is by notochord. This is called elementary canal or gut. There is a nervous tissue. In between this nervous tissue and gut, there is a special rod-like structure called notochord. This notochord later form as skeletal system. Skeletal, here we didn't find any type of skeletal system in these organisms. The skeleton and the organization and different organs are started seen from protochordate. Then well-developed organs are seen in chordate, and this notochord will be seen in some embryonic stage. Later, this notochord is replaced by the spinal cord or vertebral column. Examples for protochordate. Protochordate means not developed chordate, primitive chordates. Belanoglossa is the best example for these organisms. Okay, children, thank you. We'll meet again in the next session. Now I'm going to give a small slip test along with this video. You complete the slip test. Thank you.